Hey everybody, this is Gagok7. Welcome back to more Pokemon Stadium. In this episode, we're going to be taking on the Elite Four, but before we do that, let's have one more quick look at all the gyms we faced before we are going to take on the Elite Four. From the Pewter City Gym to the Viridian City Gym. Alright, time for the Elite Four. And let's choose our Pokemon to take on these four mighty strong trainers. Alright, the team that I would recommend is this one. I would recommend using this team if you want the highest chance at defeating the Elite Four. However, I have a different team in mind. I plan on using this team, which is going to include the 3 starter Pokemon, the evolution of Pikachu, Mr. Mime, and Articuno for its Ice typing. Alright, let's dive quickly into the Elite Four. Alright, before we start, in this episode I don't have any special in-depth mechanic Pokemon commentary planned. I just want to focus on the battles themselves. So, for this first battle, we want to use Raichu, Mr. Mime, and Ivysaur. Alright, let's go.
The challenger now faces the Elite Four. The first opponent is Lorelei.
Alright, Slowbro can be quite dangerous. It fortunately does not have Earthquake. You just want to start off with using Thunder Wave on it, because it's going to do Thunder Wave back. Its moves are Surf, Psychic, Thunder Wave, and Tri-Attack. Alright, and you can 2-shot it using Thunder and then Mega Kick. Mega Kick has 75% accuracy, Thunder has 70%. That is why I prefer first using Thunder and finishing it off with Mega Kick. Fortunately, we just had a critical hit, so it only took one attack to slow it down. Alright, Jinx has a very low defense stat, so using Mega Kick is quite a good idea. Jinx has Lovely Kiss, Trash, Ice Punch, and Reflect. Fortunately, it did Reflect, which I did not expect. So, physical moves are not going to do as much damage. It'll beat us down with Ice Punches, but Raichu's damage output should be higher than Jinx's Ice Punches. And a critical hit. We are really lucky today. Alright, the final Pokemon. Who is it going to be? Dewgong? Articuno. Alright, Articuno is not as dangerous as you might expect it to be. It has Bubble Beam, Sky Attack, Toxic, and Double Edge. Now it does Double Edge. Critical hit. This is very bad. Alright, I want to sacrifice Ivysaur before I put Mr. Mime on him. Articuno is probably going to do Toxic on Ivysaur. Actually, no. Ivysaur is a Poison-type Pokemon. You just want a weaker Articuno by using Double Edge. Maybe you can put it to sleep, but I just want to do as much damage as possible before I throw Mr. Mime at it. Alright, that did very little damage. However, it did put it in range to KO it using 3 Seismic Tosses. I'm not 100% sure how much damage a Psychic will do. It should be more than... It shouldn't be more than Psychic, is what I meant to say. Alright, let's just shoot it down with Psychic. It's probably going to do Toxic and Bubble Beam. Luckily, Mr. Mime is faster than Articuno. Alright, that did about equal amount of damage. And a critical hit. Alright, we should be able to survive another Bubble Beam, but Articuno will only survive one more Seismic Toss. It does Toxic. Very extraordinary. But let's take this. Alright, the first battle of the Elite Four should now be concluded with Seismic Toss. And that is Lorelei, the Elite Four defeated. Next up is Bruno, the easiest of the Elite Four in my opinion. Alright, for this battle, you want to use Blastoise, Mr. Mime, and Articuno.
The next adversary is Bruno. He is one rugged opponent.
Alright, Machamp tends to use Hyper Beam a lot. So what you actually want to start off with is using Withdraw to boost your defense stat. Now we should be able to survive a bit longer. And we're going to two-shot it using Hydro Pump if it keeps hitting. Alright. If this hits, that should be Machamp down. And it survived with 1 HP. Impressive. Impressive. Alright, let's use Strength on it. Switching to Mr. Mime is not a good idea because Hyper Beam is going to do a lot of damage. However, you can switch when it has done a Hyper Beam and it has to recharge for 1 turn. We just finished them off using Strength. Alright, Hitmonlee. Let's see, Machamp has the moves Karate Chop, Submission, Hyper Beam, and Seismic Toss. And Hitmonlee has High Jump Kick, Mega Kick, Meditate, and Double Team. Alright, this should be the last turn of Blastoise. If High Jump Kick misses, you get a lot of damage done to yourself. Fortunately, that was a critical hit. It should be safe to throw out Mr. Mime now. And one thing about Mr. Mime is that he has a pretty low HP, to be honest. But it should be fine, considering the rest of its stats. It's also particularly fast, so... Oh, interesting, a switch. Is it going to be Onix? Or Rhydon? Rhydon. Alright, so Rhydon has the moves Fear Attack, Horn Drill, Body Slam, and Fissure. Okay, so we've managed to lower his special stats, so the next Psychic should be able to KO. It should be safe to switch to Articuno because it doesn't have something like Rock Slide. And that's the second Pokemon down. Alright, we should be able to one-shot this one. We are getting lucky. It's incredible. And a miss. Okay, my luck today is carrying me so hard. Critical hit, alright. That is a 1-hit KO, and that is Bruno of the Elite Four down. Win. Next up, Agatha. Agatha is a ghost and psychic type trainer, and to defeat her you want to use, let's see, Mr. Mime, Raichu, and Articuno. Excuse me, I pushed the wrong button. Right, Mr. Mime, Raichu, and Articuno. Alright.
Next up, Agatha, another daunting foe.
It must be because I'm nervous that I'm pressing the wrong buttons. Alright. Let's see here. Gengar can be quite dangerous. It has Confuse Ray, Bite, Explosion, and Psychic. Luckily, I haven't seen it do Explosion a lot. However, when it sees Mr. Mime, it tends to use Bite very often. Which is not going to do very much because we can 2-hit KO it. And a critical hit, that's a 1-hit KO. Okay, this... I'm blessed today for some reason. That's a lot of critical hits and misses and all of that. Haunter now. Haunter is a particularly dangerous Pokemon. You want to do Psychic on it, and it's going to do Hypnosis against us. It has the moves Hypnosis, Nightshade, Dream Eater, and Thunderbolt. Alright. Alright, when it has got you asleep, it is going to do Dream Eater, which is going to be the perfect turn to switch out to another Pokemon. We just woke up in one turn. This time we're going to keep sleeping. And when I switch to Raichu, it is not going to do any damage using Dream Eater because the Pokemon has to stay asleep in order to make that drain HP. Alright, Raichu. One particular good thing about Raichu for this, it did Nightshade. How interesting. But one helpful thing about Raichu is that it's faster than Haunter. So we can freely use a Thunder Wave on it. And then use Thunder on it. Alright, we really want Thunder to hit now. It's very interesting that he does Nightshade. I've never seen that before. Alright. Raichu, you're doing your job pretty okay. Alright, keep thundering it, hoping for a critical hit. Alright, we have had no misses whatsoever. And it's fully paralyzed again. Alright, this is going very well. We just want one more Thunder to hit. Unfortunate. Alright, Haunter is now in range to KO for Articuno. So we're going to try out Articuno and do an Ice Beam on it. It is very likely that our last Pokemon is Venusaur. And we can use Ice Beam on Venusaur as well. Alright, what is your last Pokemon, Agatha? Muck. That's a pretty common one too. Muck has Minimize, Sludge, Explosion, and Body Slam. So it should not do that much damage against Articuno. We should be able to two-shot it, maybe 3. Okay, Muck has pretty funny animations. Just seeing all that sludge move around. Alright, one more hit, or that was the last hit of defeating Agatha. That is Agatha of the Elite Four down. Now let's move on to the strongest trainer of the Elite Four. Dragon Trainer Lance. Alright, for lands, you want to use Raichu, which is going to counter Gyarados, and Lapras, and Aerodactyl. You want to use Mr. Mime, who is the Gyarados counter, and Articuno, who is the Dragonair counter. Alright, time for the strongest trainer of the Elite Four.
We're coming down to the end. Here's Lance, the last remaining master of the Elite Four.
Alright, Dragonair. You have the moves Thunder Wave, Wrap, Ice Beam, and Toxic. And as you can see, it is all about crippling you down with status conditions. You just want to use Thunder Wave back to it because it's going to start off with Thunder Wave itself. And then you actually want to switch to Articuno.
Are they testing each other's strength?
Articuno can one-shot Dragonair using Ice Beam. However, it is also very likely that it will switch out Dragonair once it sees Articuno. Ice Beam is not going to do a lot of damage, however it can freeze us. Now, let's see if you're gonna switch out.
Flow of battle?
Nope, he's staying. Alright, we have a 1 Pokemon advantage at this point. That is 1 Pokemon down. A particularly dangerous one.
Will the next Pokemon be? Oh, it's Gyarados.
Okay, Gyarados.
The remaining Pokemon
Mr. Mime is our counter for you, but we can stay in with Lapras. Did I say Lapras? I meant Articuno. Lapras is another Pokemon that... Oh my goodness. Lapras is another Pokemon that Lance has. We are so lucky today, it's unbelievable. I think it's because I'm using this unorthodox, not optimized team, maybe.
Will this ice ever melt?
I don't think it will in time. Alright, another Ice Beam and Gyarados should be down. Okay. Let's see here. Gyarados has the moves Dragon Rage, Hydro Pump, Body Slam, and Thunderbolt, so it's particularly dangerous, and its Body Slam is why we want Mr. Mime.
Oh, it's Kangaskhan.
Okay, Kangaskhan is particularly dangerous because
Pokemon now
it is faster than Articuno. It has the moves Digipunch, Earthquake, Rock Slide, and Surf. So we just want to use Ice Beam on it until Articuno goes down, and then we're going to critical hit. Okay, that's pretty nice. I wanted to say we are going to throw Mr. Mime at it once Articuno goes down, but I guess not. Alright. We are so lucky today. I don't know what's happening, guys. Alright. Now, we unfortunately have one more challenge awaiting us. When you beat the Elite Four, you get challenged. Receive the key from the Elite Four and open the gate to the upper floor. You get challenged by your rival, Trainer Blue, the current champion. And in the top left corner it says something like VHL. I think that is something to do with debugging. As some sort of a check flag of whether you've defeated the Elite Four. But anyway, when you've defeated the Elite Four, you get one try at challenging the rival. And you can't simply return to the rival if you want to rematch him. You need to do the Elite Four all over again. Alright, let's go. Now, one particular thing about the rival is that he's very unique because he uses different teams depending on, first of all, if you've inserted into your transfer pack a copy of Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, or Yellow. And he uses different moves based on which starter you choose in the particular game. that you have inserted, like Pokemon Red and Blue. You will use a different team if you choose Squirtle, a different team if you use Bulbasaur, and a different team if you choose Charmander. However, for Pokemon Yellow, he chooses a different team based on whether you defeated him or lost to him in certain encounters, or skipped over his battle at certain encounters in the Pokemon Yellow game. However, what is consistently true about his team is that it's fairly well balanced, and it's very hard to counter his entire team. So we just want to use one that has as much counters to his team as possible. We want to start off with Raichu, who is a Clefable, Slowbro, Pinsir, and Charizard counter. We want to use Charmeleon, who is a exclusively Executor and Pinsir counter, and Blastoise, who is a Ninetales counter. We don't have a counter for Electabuzz. I would recommend Nidoking for this, and this is the battle for which I would recommend Lapras and Nidoking in the other team that I showed at the beginning of the episode. So, this is going to be the team we use for today for this battle against champion or rival Blue. Alright, let's go to the final battle.
This is truly it, the final battle against the rival. This is the final act in a long and arduous quest in the Gym Leader Castle.
Now, a special thing about Ninetales. It has a speed tie with Raichu. So, if we are lucky, we can Thunder Wave it. Unfortunately, we couldn't move faster than it despite the speed tie today. So once it uses Dig, you want to switch out to Blastoise. Let's see here. Ninetales has to move Body Slam, Flamethrower, Dig, and Toxic. Fortunately, Blastoise should be able to survive this hit, no problem. And we just want to use Hydro Pump on it. It is probably going to do Toxic, or it's going to switch out, which is fine too. Alright, Executor. This is why we have Charmeleon. Oh my lord, we missed. Alright, we want to switch out to Charmeleon. Let's see here. Executor has to move Solar Beam, Leech Seed, Double Edge, and Toxic. And one particular strategy that this Executor does... Oh my goodness. One particular thing that this Executor does when it sees Raichu, not Blastoise, is first use Toxic, then use Leech Seed to leech off as much damage as possible in turns. Okay, so one particular strategy I had was just using Fire Blast on it. Oh god. I pressed the wrong button. I meant to use Fire Blast. Okay, if Fire Blast hit, we should be fine now. Only 70% accurate moves keep hitting. That's very nice. Alright, we want to switch to Blastoise once again because it's probably going to do another Dig. Alright, let's use Hydro Pump on it once it gets above the ground. That should be able to KO, but it didn't for today. Alright, let's just use strength on it. It is going to do body slam, hoping it can paralyze us.
There, it's a hit.
Alright, and we are now in a 3-on-1 situation.
And it's down. There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokémon.
Clefable, alright. For Clefable, is why we have Raichu. Let's see, Clefable has the moves Thunderbolt, Psychic, Blizzard, and Double Edge. We just want to do as much damage as possible to it. Alright. Maybe we can do a sacrifice play of Charmeleon. I don't know if Charmeleon is faster than Clefable. Maybe if Blastoise was already faster. Will it be okay? Alright, let's use Slash on it. That is probably going to do the most damage with the highest amount of accuracy. Alright. It is going to do Psychic. And Charmeleon survived. Alright, our special stat is down, so using Fire Blast is not a good option. Let's see. And that is the end of the rival battle. Champion Blue is going down. We are now the champion. And that is the final battle of the Gym Leader Castle. Final battle clear. Gym Leader Castle clear. And now, the credits showing off the Pokemon that we used. Raichu, Charmeleon, Blastoise, Ivysaur, Mr. Mime, and Articuno. Thank you so much for joining me in this episode. However, this is not everything there is to Pokemon Stadium. There's one more thing. Alright, but before that, every time that you beat the rival Blue, you get presented with a Pokemon present, and this Pokemon you can transfer over to your Pokemon Red, Blue, or Yellow cartridge using the transfer pack. These particular Pokemon tend to be the starter Pokemon, Eevee, Omanyte, Kabuto, Hitmonchan, and Hitmonlee. Pokemon that are very rare in this case, most of which you get to choose as one between 2 or 3 options like Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee, or Kabuto and Kabutops, or the 3 starter Pokemon. So, if you want to complete the Pokédex in your game, this is a helpful tool to get you on the way. Alright. Received Omanyte. Please go to Professor Oak's lab and receive your Pokemon now. Before you can do this, you of course need to insert a copy of Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow into the transfer pack. But before we end this episode, there's one more challenge awaiting us. When you've defeated all the cups in the stadium, and you've done all the gym battles and the rival battle in the Gym Leader Castle, you get challenged by Mewtwo, the ultimate Pokemon. Mewtwo lies in wait. Can your Pokemon defeat this fearsome Pokemon? Next time on Pokemon Stadium, we are going to challenge the ultimate Pokemon Mewtwo. This has been Gigoku7. See you guys next time.